Hello, students of class 10. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is water resources. So, students, water is very important for all the living beings to survive, isn't it? So, without food, we can survive for 2 3 months, but without water, we cannot, isn't it? So, today we are going to study water resources. First, we'll see some of the main points we are going to study, that is, sources of water. Then, second point, need to conserve water. Third point, conservation practices. Fourth point, rainwater harvesting. Fifth one, need of water harvesting. Sixth one, water harvesting mechanism. Okay, so first we'll see sources of water. So here, students, about 97% of the earth's water supply is in the ocean. So that's why we can see earth as a blue planet, isn't it? It is covered with water. So this 97% it is unfit for human consumption due to the high salt content. Okay. So next you can see the remaining water is 3%. So out of this 3%, 2.3% is locked in the polar ice caps. So this also we cannot use 2.3%, which is there in the polar ice caps. Then the balance, that is 0.7%, is available as fresh water. In that also 0.66 percentage is in groundwater, and the rest 0.03% is available in rivers, lakes and streams. So nowadays you can see this rivers, lakes and streams, how polluted it is, isn't it? So we can see that water is not available in plenty nowadays. We have to use it very carefully. So next we'll see from where this water is coming to the surface. So here water on the land is result of precipitation, that is rainfall, or seepage from underground, which forms streams and rivers flowing on land and finally joining the river. So this form of water is called surface water. So in the surface water, you can see water is coming from precipitation or from the seepage from the underground. Next we'll see what is underground water. So the water from precipitation, that is in the form of rain or snow, flows on the surface. Some of the water evaporates and rest it will sink into the soil. So the water which gets collected under the surface of land is known as underground water. So this underground water it will remain in the soil or subsoil or bedrock. Okay. So most of the water ultimately reaches the sea. Next we'll see second point, that is need to conserve water. Water is a natural resource which satisfies the basic human need, isn't it? So from morning as you get up till you go to your bed, all the work is done with the help of water only, isn't it? So if there is no water means we cannot imagine how our life will go. So we need to conserve water for following reasons. So it is also said that already the two world war has taken place, isn't it? So the third world war may take place over the issue of water. Okay, so nowadays so much of scarcity of water is there. So it is said that maybe world war will take place over the issue of water. So next we'll see need to conserve water for the following reasons. The overexploitation of underground water often results in lowering of water table. So, example you can see around your house itself, isn't it? So, each house will be having their own bore wells. So, that is they are lowering the water table there. So each house, if they are goes on lowering the water table, means what will happen? Water will reduce. Next, loss of vegetation causes drought and reduction of rainfall and lowering the water table. So loss of vegetation means deforestation, cutting down of the trees. So this also will reduce the rainfall, and finally this also affects in the lowering of the water table. Irrigation, it is utilizing more than 90% of total fresh water, isn't it? Fresh water only is utilized for irrigation purpose also. The increase in population also resulting in the water scarcity. Our water resources like the underground water, rivers, lakes, etc. are polluted and their water can hardly be used without adequate treatment. So these are some of the reasons why we should conserve water. Okay. Next we'll see conservation practices. So, due to declining availability of fresh water and increasing demand, isn't it? So, water is not developing here, or water is not increasing, whereas population is increasing and the demand for water is increasing, and fresh water availability of fresh water is declining. So we need to conserve water and manage our water resources. So we need to take some quick steps to make proper policies and laws and adopt effective measures for its conservations. So this can be done by rainwater harvesting, adopting water saving technologies, encouraging watershed development, water recycling, and preventing the pollution of water. Okay. So next point we'll see rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting. What is rainwater harvesting? So, rainwater harvesting is collecting and storing rainwater, which includes activities aimed at harvesting surface and groundwater. Okay, then it helps in prevention of loss through evaporation and seepage, and all other hydrological studies and engineering interventions aimed at conservation and efficient utilization of the limited water endowment of an area such as watershed. So like this we can do rainwater harvesting. So in India, from the ancient time itself, people they are storing the rainwater. Okay, so the storing mechanism or the water receptacle was known by different names in different areas. Like they are called Khatri or Kuhul in western Himalayas, Baluis or Diggis in the Gangetic plains, Joharts in central India, Bandaras or Keri in Deccan Plateau, Surangam in Western Ghats, Korambu in Eastern Ghats, and Zing in Ladakh. Okay, so these are the different names used in different areas in India for storing water. Next, we'll see need of water harvesting. In India, we have acute shortage of water during year, isn't it? So that is, you can see the annual rainfall in India is like 1170 millimeter. This is higher compared to the world average of 800 millimeter. But ironically, even Chirapunji means where the highest rainfall is fallen there, isn't it, in the world itself, which receives about 11,000 millimeter of rainfall annually, suffers from acute shortage of drinking water. So that's why it is said ironically. This is because rainwater in India occurs in short spells of high intensity. That is, in the time of rainy season, there will be heavy downpour. As a result, you can see flood and all occurring, isn't it? So, this water is not stored properly. So as a result, what will happen when the summer comes, there will not be water at all. So people have to suffer from shortage of water. So this makes most part of India experience lack of water even for domestic uses also. Next we'll see water harvesting mechanism. So, the elements of water harvesting are given below. So, here you can see catchment, conducts, storage facility, recharge facility. So, students, you can see the picture also here how the rainwater is harvested. So the catchment of a water harvesting is the surface which receives rainfall directly. That is where the rainfall is directly received. It can be a paved area like terrace, isn't it? Terrace, we can see direct rainfall is received, or courtyard of a building, or an upper paved area like a lawn or open ground. So these are the place where direct rainfall is received. Temporary structures like sloping sheds can also act as catchments. So catchments means where the direct rainfall is received. Okay, so here you can see it may be the roof or the terrace. Next is conduits. So here conduits are the pipeline. You can see their pipeline is connected on that house, isn't it, from the terrace. So it is called a conduit. Conduits are the pipelines or drains that carry rainwater from the catchment. Catchment means where the rain is directly received, that is roof or terrace. So from there it is connected, the water is connected through conduits, maybe of any material like PVC pipe maybe, or it may be galvanized iron also, or materials that are commonly available. Okay, next you can see after that this water, after coming through pipe, where it is going, it is going to storage facility. Okay, so rainwater can be stored in any commonly used storage containers like RCC, masonry or plastic water tanks also. You can see there one tank is made, isn't it? So there the water is collected. After that, recharge facility. Alternative to storing rainwater can be used to recharge and groundwater aquifers. This can be done through any suitable structures like dug wells, bore wells, recharge trenches, and recharge pits also. That is, after our use, the extra water that we can pass it to the recharge facility. You can see there recharge facility is drawn there, isn't it? So this recharge facility may be dug wells, bore wells, or any recharge pits, so that the groundwater will be filled. Okay, so these were the elements of water harvesting. So what are the elements? Catchment. Catchment means roof or the terrace where the direct rainfall is received. Conducts are the pipeline through which that water is carried. Storage facility means that water will be stored in any pipe or any masonry. After that, the extra water will be sent to the recharge pits or recharge facility is done. So students, today we'll stop this chapter here. So I hope this topic was clear to you all. So everyone go through the module once again and read the chapter. Okay. Thank you.